Good morning, guys. It's technically still morning. I wanted to show you guys a few things that I have set up for being stocked up for the COVID-19 lockdown. Now, our state is not fully on lockdown. The schools have all closed. They're recommending people stay home as much as possible, and so we are kind of in a unique position, I know, to be able to do that. I know not everyone can. People have to go to work. They maybe have to bring their kids with them to work or send them to childcare. I completely understand that. I know that people are being put in a difficult position. Unfortunately, we don't all have the same options that I have, and I know that I'm in a unique position to be able to do this. Even just to be able to stock up on food is a unique position, and I don't want anyone to think that we're being forced to be locked down here in Michigan, but I also don't want anyone to think that I assume that everyone is able to do this. But I was, and I know a lot of people who might be able to, but are kind of unsure where to start. So that's why I'm showing you what we did. So this is my freezer in the garage. We don't normally even have this plugged in, but we are using it now. So I have 2 frozen gallons of milk. I have a frozen container of half and half. After those thaw out in the fridge after a few days, you can just shake them up and they should be able to be used just fine. I have about 10 pounds of ground beef here. I have a bag of chicken breasts. I have 4 pork roasts here, probably about 30 pork chops here, and 2 bags of frozen vegetables, big ones from Costco. One thing I realized pretty quickly over the past couple weeks is that I am having trouble obviously staying stocked with fresh things, and if I'm not wanting to run out to the grocery store, that can be a little difficult. So I am utilizing grocery services like Shipt to bring me stuff. As long as it stays operational and they're able to deliver my groceries, I will take advantage of it. Another thing we always do here to be prepared for things is we have a wood burning stove, and so we have wood here to be used. You can hear the goats. They came over here to say hi to us in this corner. I'll show them to you. I don't know if you can see them. That's Sugar and Spice. Those are our goats. They're very loud this morning because they have not been fed yet, so we're getting there. I'm gonna show you, while we're out here, I'll show you the hens and the rabbits too real quick, because who couldn't use some fluffy animals in their lives right now, huh? So here's some of our hens. They are beautiful, beautiful birds. And we have 8 of them now. A couple of them are bluebell eggers. They lay the pretty blue eggs, which my kids love, so that's been fun. Here's the bunnies just hanging out in bunny condo over here. They're quiet. I like them. They're good. And then I will show you. Hi, baby. This is Sugar, our female goat. Hi, Shuggy. Aw, I love her so much. She's a good girl. And then this boy down here, this is Spice, our male goat. Hi, honey. Hi. Aw, you guys are being good goats this morning. Yeah. So they'll get fed in a few minutes. I'm going to take you in and show you some of our supplies inside. I have a lot of basic stuff, food, first aid stuff, animal type first aid, electrolytes, things like that. I'm not going to show you all of that, but one thing I do want to show you is my colloidal silver. I talk about it a lot. Maybe people haven't seen it, don't really know much about it. I'm going to go ahead and show you. But first, I'm going to show you. We have a freezer in our back room too. This was our schoolroom. Now it's been kind of converted into like a storage space. So this freezer is also full. I have about, I think, 8 pounds of bacon back here. I have lots of lunch meat frozen, more chicken. I have some packages of sausages frozen. I've been making soups and stews and freezing extra of those as well. I have so part of the issue here too is that I have a pretty particular diet, and not a lot of the stuff that I eat is stuff that's pantry goods. So even as far as like what I can eat, I froze these egg thins. They're kind of like wraps for sandwiches. So that way, you know, I don't eat bread, so now I have those available if I want a sandwich. I'll show you the other freezer real quick, and then I will show you some of the supplies again back here in the pantry. So in our other freezer up here, I have frozen bread. I have more frozen lunch meat. I have like some chicken legs down here because those are pretty cheap to always have on hand. I have a huge giant pork roast. Just, you know, that's our more used freezer. Some veggies and stuff like that. Just to be prepared. And then if you come back here, I can kind of give you a view of my pantry that I made the other day. I have my essential oils that I use, natural medicines, food, regular medicines, batteries, lights. I have a lot of water. And I bought this like 3 weeks ago, so it was before anything was even out of stock. I was able to go ahead and get my hands on a lot of water, so I just kind of knew this was coming, so I prepared ahead of time. There's Gatorade. I have more Gatorade just in case we need electrolytes. We also stocked up on pet food and stuff back here. So the one thing that I want to show you though, I have 2 different kinds of it. I have a spray silver that's topical for like if you get a wound, and then I have the ingestible silver, and you can actually make your own silver as well. I don't mess with that because silver can actually, if taken too much, it can turn your skin blue, and that's irreversible. Silver was known as a natural antibiotic for years and years and years, and it fell out of favor, I'm assuming because it turned your skin blue. That, and with the invention of obviously modern medicine, people were able to just go take a pill that wouldn't turn them blue. As far as this goes though, this is stuff that we save for absolutely needed, you know, have to have something. It's not something we use regularly at all. And from what I've been told, you can actually nebulize that as well if you're having issues with your lungs. I've never done it. I haven't done a ton of research on it. But it is something that's supposed to be helpful if you're having lung issues. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying that that is a use for it. If it's something that you wanted to try, that would have to be your own decision, and you would have to do the research on your own. That's one thing with me is I do a ton of research on everything. I read everything. I mean, I read scientific journals for fun. Kind of a nerd in that way. So now that I've shown you those things, I just kind of wanted to sit here and talk to you guys, because something I'm noticing is that while I know that people need to leave the house for things that are necessary, part of the reason why things are shutting down is because we should be staying home as much as possible. So I just really want to implore people to know that part of the reason this is happening is because we're trying to slow the spread of COVID-19, of coronavirus. We're trying to, as they call it, flatten the curve. So right now, with the way cases are growing, our medical community would be completely overwhelmed. They would not be able to take care of us properly. They would have to start making really difficult choices like they are in Italy right now about who's going to receive care and who's not. Things will be overrun. And not to mention, with so many of us coming in sick at once, our medical staff is going to be compromised even more so. They may get sick. They can't take care of us. Medical staff are some of the bravest people I know. They're out there on the front lines taking care of things that none of us want to. They're working long hours. They're away from their families. They're putting their health at risk every day just to work with patients day in and day out. And they do it because they have a calling for it. So the biggest reason why we need to be home is because we need to give them a fighting chance to do their jobs. If we don't stay home, there's going to be such an influx of patients that they're not going to be able to save us all, and possibly not even be able to save themselves. So I get that people are scared about this, and I get that people, some even think this isn't real, and that's okay. I don't disrespect your belief. I don't understand why you wouldn't believe it was real. I mean, in my entire lifetime, 34 years, I've never seen anything like this happen. I've never seen basically entire states shut down. I've never seen schools closed for an extended amount of time for anything like this. I feel like, I know I'm a smart person. I do, like I said, I do a ton of research. I do a ton of reading. I scrutinize everything. I pay attention, but I feel like obviously if this is happening, there's people out there who are smarter than me, who know more than I do, and they're trying to let us know there's a reason for it. And whatever that reason may be, and whatever you may believe, is it really that difficult for people to stay home more often? We can all make that happen. I get going to work. I get that you have to find childcare. I completely understand that. But at the same time, when you're home, stay home. When you're not at work, stay in your house. Find things to do with your family, reconnect, play games. My kids and I, we've been home quite a bit for 3 years because we homeschool. They do normally go out a couple days a week for a group, but we have had to learn how to be home. And some of the best tips I can give you are find designated spaces in your house for each person where they can get away. Make sure that there's a place where you can have peace from everybody else. Even if you need to, set designated times during the day where you say from 7 to 8 o'clock at night, that's my time away from everybody else to either watch a show, scroll my phone, read a book, do a crossword puzzle, whatever it is. Find time to do things alone within your house, and then find designated times to do things together. Don't feel bad though for needing to separate a little bit, because I'll tell you something, being in this house and our other house, which was even smaller, quite a bit smaller, about a quarter of the size of this one, for 3 years with the same people day in and day out, it can get a little exhausting, and you need to have some time to yourself. You need to be able to have your own space and your own time. But at the same time, reconnect to those basic things. Sit down and do a puzzle. I'm not going to tell you I do those things all the time, because I'm not the best at that, but my husband is really good about sitting down with the kids and having that kind of time. My time with the girls is usually watching a movie, or we listen to music together, things like that. We sometimes, they like to watch things with me that I'm interested in, like documentaries and stuff. We like to watch Anthony Bourdain quite a bit together and talk about the places that he travels and things like that. But I'm just letting you know that being home feels claustrophobic. I know that feeling because that's how it felt for me when we first started living a little bit differently. And I don't want anyone to feel like they're stuck in their own skin, because I was there. And it, especially in a time like this when anxiety is already really high, just find ways to carve out time for yourself and for your family, and you'll be okay. You really will. And for those of you who are still having to go out, take care of yourselves. Follow the hygiene rules, obviously, and just stay as safe as possible. I'm worried. I'm worried about my friends. I'm worried about my family. This is pretty unprecedented, here in Michigan, especially for all the schools to close. And no matter what the reasoning is, just listen, follow the directions as best you can. Stay safe, guys. Talk to you later.